Half it like and hello, it's Vo, and welcome back to our playthrough of Skylines. Last time we'd made it all the way to Busy Town. I'm going to plough on through this time, try and make it all the way to the next milestone. Be a little bit more savage with the editing to try and fit it all into one video, rather than trying to go in two parts. I think if I can get an episode to come in at under half an hour, it's better than two at 20 minutes each. So we're going to get our roads finally filled in here. A long time coming, this little section of roads. And delete this little bit of pathway so we can make a proper bridge over to that from both these sides. Again, popping in these pathways cuts down on the number of people that want to use their cars to get between areas. Less cars on the road leaves more space for trucks doing deliveries, emergency vehicles, essential things, you know. So we get these pathways in, just the same as we did before. Create a nice little square around the roundabout. We should still have the space again to connect up paths to the main road. So pop one in either side. And over here as well. Just gives them easier access, save them needing to go all the way around. When we do eventually set the policies and turn on encourage biking, and get them all to use bicycles, they'll use these paths a lot more. Let's get this made on the other side, and then we can start zoning it in. Build our little paths over the way. Brought it back slightly too far. It's alright, we know what to do. I end up deleting that when we make our next section. Guess it'll do for now. I as well delete if I can get a refund, because I know I'm going to end up deleting it in the future. Try and get this covered with water. Do just this bit for just now, I think. So we'll get it zoned in. Put up our budget on the water. It's going to catch up with us eventually. At some point we'll need to pop in more water services. Hopefully not until we get unlock our second square. Kind of want to fill in the first square entirely first. See how much we can squeeze into the first square. See if we can pop in a park here. Maybe if we do it up above, because they seem to want it more at the top. Our other parks are obviously, so this is on the edge of their range. Pop in a park here, and then we can fill in residential sort of all around it. I want to pop in a little bit more commercial, but not right now. I'm pretty sure even if we filled the entire thing with residential, the need that we've got at the moment would probably soak it all up. Maybe leave space up the top to pop in something else, should we want to. Maybe another cemetery or something similar. Fill in the square. We can maybe leave a gap. Probably come back and just zone it in afterwards, but covered now, so I don't forget later. Go in and get some extra garbage services in. Pop it in right next to the high school. That leaves still a bank of 4 squares all the way down the side. Looks like we need another post office, but because it's noisy, there's not a good place to pop it in yet. We'll have to wait until we've got an area commercial that we can pop it in next to that's going to absorb the sound. Pop in another elementary school. I think next to the roundabout here, it's going to cover all the houses that it's going to zone in. Hospital's still a way off. Do want to pop that in at some point soon. As soon as we unlock these things, the citizens tend to want them. They don't leave much of a sort of grace period before becoming unhappy they don't have it, the second they know it exists. Looks like we need another childcare centre. Pop this in here. We can maybe fill this. Pop this in with residential. So we'll try and stop sickness. I like to put a lot of medical buildings in. Hate to see sick citizens. I think the power issues is just where it's not connected. The new buildings coming in. They're sort of on the edge, but we've got our new power station available. The geothermal power plant. It's going to give us heaps of energy, but we don't quite have the cash for it yet. Could pop down one of our real money generators. Rather than saving up for it, but can adjust the budget just now, see how we go. Just give us a bit of leeway in the meantime. Water's still fine with the budget upped. We'll make space down here for our geothermal power plant. Yeah, I should be able to fit on the end here, fine. Just need the funds for it now. Our power needs in the night time are certainly a lot lower than the daytime currently, so we can adjust the budget there, get that turned down. So we'll pop down our real money generator. That's going to let us afford this. Again, it's much better than using unlimited money. Have a more realistic sort of boost of cash when you need it to get these new buildings when they unlock. Hitting the milestones is obviously not cutting it in terms of the cash that we get for hitting them. So we'll see how much power we're actually generating. We'll pop this down to 50. See if 50% in the night's enough. Nope, but it's not too far under. Get the game paused. We could pop it back up to say 75%. And I think maybe 100% during the daytime should be fairly safe. It's good to be able to get the budget and the power back down to a realistic level. That has been the biggest problem. Obviously, if you didn't want to go green, you could pop in the oil or coal power plants. But ground pollution is not something I'm that into. avoid it if we can. Go ahead and delete this now. It's giving us a bunch of money. Should hopefully get us right up to getting our hospital. Now we can maybe catch up with what the game wants from us. And be free to just focus on zoning for demands. Maybe go in and do some of these traffic lights. Help traffic flow. As the city builds, we want to stay on top of this. It's pretty easy to forget about it. And you find you've got hundreds to do. If we weren't trying to go for a sort of maximum population build, we can maybe space things out a little bit more. But like sort of cramming as much in as densely as possible. Most I've got up to before is maybe around 700,000 for a population of a city on a map like this. Hopefully the lockdown's not going to last that long, but see how we go, eh? So move this firehouse up here, now that we've got access to the bigger fire station. And we come pop that in here. Again, we should leave a gap for the road, assuming we're going to extend that large road along. Well, I'm not perfectly happy, but brown is certainly better than red. Pop one in over here as well. If the worst comes to the worst, they can always drive over and around the roundabout to the industrial area. The guys need backup. Now we don't have enough for our hospital again, of course. Keep playing and see if we can save back up enough. Definitely still need residential, so don't want to get up too close to that train line. Put a bit more commercial in here. Now we've got a demand for it. Fill in this little section here because that'll allow me. Also pop some in here. If we leave space for a road just in case we want to put a bridge over the highway. Space for a path down the bottom, even though I don't think we'll have a path along there. Would be a nice walk along the river maybe. I'll fill in these areas with commercial. I'm not entirely convinced about the noise level and the buffering of the trees. I don't think I want to put any more residential too close to the highways. If we cover this up here, these corners, so I don't think we need any more pathways down here. Seems that we don't have water for this very bottom section, so we'll get water pipe in here. Water up to 100%. So water and electricity should be fine for a little while. And space for a little bit more residential. Try and pop some in here. Squeeze it in the top. Have to bring roads to sort of encase those and put some commercial or some offices up there to buffer the noise from the train track. But we're getting there with our square. We're making nice shapes, sort of square shapes. Maybe get another child cared in, because it seems we have one sick child somewhere. Can't find exactly where. But this is going to cover most of the area that isn't previously covered, so we'll get it in over here. It does have good road access and pathway access. Hopefully putting in the hospital is going to cover pretty much the whole square. Have to see where we're going to pop it. Going to extend the roads up here above where this area goes. We'll try and take it up to here, up to this line, and hopefully that's going to be the line we're looking for in terms of running our road from it. Yeah, seems perfect. So we'll take our large road up, see if we can get an alignment marker. There we go. And we'll do the same over the other side. Got a bit of a hill going on over here. Let's cut off this tail and have a look, make sure it's not too steep. It's slightly steep. Maybe try and a bit of landscaping. Try and reduce it a little bit. Bring down the hill slightly. So we can go into our tools. As always, the second one's usually the best one. So we can grab a height sort of a little way up the hill. That's not the very bottom, but not at the top. And get a decent sized brush. Then paint that area in. Get a couple of different heights from roundabout. 81 and 87, that sort of thing. Seems to be the height of the hill. And once we've got that area popped in, smooth everything out, just so you don't have sudden sort of cliff faces and really steep sections. So paint over all this. So we'll still have a slope, we'll still have an incline, but just won't be as savage. That's it, with the roads drawn back in, it's much less of a hill. Doesn't look too steep now. Take medium roads out the back, underneath the train track. Perhaps it's where we can put our train station out of the way. We can get a cargo station and a normal train station. Yeah, it looks pretty straight if we pop a line across here. Probably want to upgrade it because the stations themselves, when we get to that stage, well, we're not too far off. When we unlock the train stations, the traffic coming off them, especially the cargo ones, pretty heavy, so upgrade this road along here. Do the same on the other side. Get medium roads in. So on this side we could have commercial or offices, and around the back we could have our stations sort of away because they're noisy. Gonna get rid of a few of these. We don't need them anymore now that we've got bigger and better things. Can use the move it mod to tuck them away off into the naughty corner in terms of the things that make the most noise. We can keep a few obviously just for the look because we like our green energy, we're proud of it as a city. We just don't want too much of our area, especially in the first square, to be unworkable or suffering from too much noise pollution. Our electricity needs are more than met, so we're going to reduce the budget a little bit. Yeah, still seems fine. I'm going to try and take a road out from here, now that we've got some of those things out of the way. If we take a small road up, of course it doesn't align, we'll have to extend this out a little bit. We can connect these two sections rather than with a footpath, we can have a small road. I'm surprised we made that road through all these. We'll rearrange this, we'll divert the power lines so we can build in some roads here. Get this zoned with some residential. We've got space left for our big road to come up and create a bridge. So we'll come forward by one first, and then one unit out, and then page up. And then we'll make a bridge over this small road we've just made. It's connecting these two little areas. And we can just take it out to the edge of the water. And that can be our bridge across to the next square. See how that looks? Yeah, looks fine. Get this area covered with water before we forget, and get it zoned in. Do it pretty much entirely residential. Maybe pop in a few little shops on either side. This can be like a interesting underpass with some shops along here. Sort of get a parallel line. Continue this area along here. Obviously we can't put housing along the edge here because our turbines are too noisy. So this might be the place, the area for our hospital. Extend this out and make an area over here. Fill this in completely. Give us plenty of space the next time our demand for residential gets full. Get in and cover that with water as well. This one little bit that we haven't got covered. That's us entirely covered for water for the meantime. Shouldn't need to come back or do this for a while. Get our hospital in. We're gonna have a medical centre on this side because we've still got a sick citizen that won't go away. I expected popping in the hospital it was gonna heal that one person, but after letting the game run a little bit. Gonna get another post office in over here. Now that we've established a bit of room. We know we're not going to have residential around here, so we can get something noisy in. We haven't got any unique buildings yet, so I'm going to pop in a real money generator, get some cash so we can afford a unique building. I'll let the cash build up while I'm having a little look at the list of which ones I want. I'm going to go for this one because it fits perfectly in the gap here. Means we can delete this, but we've built up loads of money now. Enough that we don't care about the cost of relocating this anyway. So we can relocate this across the road. That'll give us a little bit of space for our unique building. The transport tower. So it's something interesting. Maybe if you add, there's certainly enough that if you add one per tile when you unlock them, certainly adds a bit of interest, something different to each tile. In theory it should bring visitors in terms of tourists that come and see it. Don't really think it's a tourist attraction, but it looks of it. But it's certainly something different. So special we'll give it a few car parks. Not quite sure if these ones are functioning in terms of cars driving in and out of them. But they're certainly working as parks. You can see they've got a radius of effect to making people happy. We'll try and baffle the noise of these power generators a little bit with some trees. Get that sort of filled in. Hopefully that'll keep the citizens free from noise pollution. Looks pretty good now that it's decorated in. We've got to Big Town. We've made it. We've got plenty of things unlocked now. We will unlock another square soon enough. I think we can't build in this one much longer. See, we've got campus areas unlocked. The university's DLC or campus DLC is the one I most recently purchased. So I've never placed a campus area before. I don't know how to build up the university areas. I have no experience with it. I'll watch a few videos perhaps, get an idea of what I'm doing with that. Get some tips for building the campus areas. Certainly something different. When a new DLC comes out, the previous one tends to go down in price, so I tend to pick that one up at that point. So we've recently got the campus DLC. Try that out. A bunch of policies unlocked. Again, one day we'll get into the policies and we'll try it out. Once we've got a much steadier stream of income, we'll be able to afford turning a few policies on. We've got the high density buildings. High density buildings are going to be super important to the build. Now that we've got them, we can start building in high density residential and commercial all along our main roads, our large roads. We've also got offices. They're like an alternative for the industry. If you've got need for industry, you can fill that need with popping in offices. A few new pathways. We've got a prison unlocked to us. That's where we can put all the worst offenders. We've also got a new power station. It's going to be another alternative for us. We can get another one of those popped in. Hopefully later rather than sooner, when our city needs more power. We've also got our metro unlocked. Metro is going to be super important to our city as well. We're going to use the soundproof metro so we can pop in metro stations throughout the residential and commercial areas anywhere we like. We're going to get metro networks set up instead of buses to get people all around the city and to or from our bigger things like our airports and our train stations. So we're going to take it further in our next episode. Do join us then. Until then, take it easy, and I'll see you next time.